Good evening, boys and girls. We have started our geometry unit, and so this week we've been talking about angles, and I wanted to kind of take a step in reverse and talk about some of the other terms that help make these angles. And so I'm going to show you a video about it. So our objective, which is our lesson goal that we're going to be learning about today, is to identify, which means to know the name of, and draw points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. Okay, so these are the vocabulary words for math that you need to understand for this lesson. So again, it's points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. And I'm going to show you what each one looks like and kind of give you some information about it. Okay, so this right here is called the point, and it looks very similar to a period, but for math we call it a point, and it is what is used to represent or mark a location, like somewhere on the paper we use a point. And really it should be drawn as small as can be. I mean, it's intended to be so small that even with the best microscope you shouldn't really be able to see the point. Okay, but we need the point in order to make all the other different lines and line segments and rays and angles that we use for a lot of different things that we have. So again, this is called the point, okay? And usually a point has a letter next to it because that's the name of the point. So in the picture I drew, I had a point where I named it point A, and I just wrote an A next to it. Next, I'm going to skip over here. When you have 2 points, so if I said this is point A and this is point B, and I have a straight edge and I can draw a line connecting the 2 points, this is called a line segment, okay? Because the points are telling me that the line can't go any further than these 2 points. Okay, then next we have what we call the line, and lines extend. They can actually extend forever and ever. So to show that lines can extend forever and ever, we put arrows on the end of what we are calling a line. So that's why the line segment has the points that stops the line, and then the line here has the arrows to show that the line can be extended. Okay, then we have what we call a ray. An array has one endpoint and it has an arrow on the other end. So we call this a ray. Next, we have when we have an endpoint and a line extending from the endpoint, and then we also have another line extending from the same endpoint. What we have is what we were studying this week. It's called an angle. So you can see the room between the two between the two rays, right? Here, these are rays, or if it was points here, that would be 2 line segments. Okay, so the angle is here being drawn with the 2 rays connecting at the same point. Okay, so with these different vocabulary words, we can form a figure here. Okay, so when I was drawing this, I first started with this point right here, point A, and then point B. Okay, and I didn't have a ruler, so what I did was I folded a piece of paper and I drew a straight line connecting point A and point B. So before, I just started with the points. I had a point there, point A, point B, and then when I connected point A and point B, I got what is called the line segment. Okay, so this was A, this was B, and you can see it here on my picture. Point A is being connected to point B. So this right here, I'm just going to draw an arrow, is a line. Let me try to write it. Segment. Okay, because the line is actually stopping at these points. Okay, then next, I got my ruler again, or my straight edge again, and I drew another line starting at point A, but extending the opposite direction. Okay, so this line is, well, this isn't actually a line because of the arrows that show me that this line can actually be extended. It could keep going. And so this is a line because of those arrows. I can see that. And this line I can call line AC. So I'm going to label this now. So this is a line. And actually to name this line, I can just write AC and then put a little line over the top of it. Just like that. And then we forgot to name this one. So this is line segment AB. And I'm just going to put a little line across it. And that is the name of this line segment. So I have line AC, which is here. And I have line segment AB, which is here. Okay, so then after drawing the line and the line segment, I used a ray to start at point B and to extend out. So I made this ray first. So this is what we can call a ray. And it's ray BD. So I'm going to write, well, first of all, I'm going to label it's a ray. And I'm going to label it BD. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a little ray over it. So that's one point and then an arrow on the other end. Okay, and then I can see here, you can see here that I drew also another ray. So this is also a ray. And this is ray BE, because that's B, that's E. And I have one point. And then here I have a line coming from the point. So that makes a ray. Okay, so I'm just going to do one arrow over the letters B, E. Okay, so from here, when I look at these two rays coming from point B, I can see that I have an angle here. Okay, so this is actually making an angle. And just by looking at it, I can see that the angle is less than 90 degrees. So I know that this angle looks like an acute angle to me, because anything that is smaller than 90 degrees is a acute angle. Okay, and so looking at this figure, I know that there's a lot of letters on it, but I just wanted to explain again what these words are. So again, we have the point, we have a line segment, a ray, and then an angle. Okay, so on today's lesson, you're going to be actually drawing a figure like this, but following directions given on the assignment. So do your best. If you don't have a ruler, just use a folded piece of paper like I did. And if you can't remember what is a line segment or what is a line, then I want you to rewatch the video, and you can pause it. And I'll also post this page on the assignment so that you can look at this to help you remember which is what. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.